Hello! Hi! So as you can see from the title of the video, this will basically just be me talking about the ending for the Monster Association slash Garou arc of the One Punch Man remake from Murata and One. Comparing it to the original ending for the webcomic where One published it. And I have to say, if you just compare in terms of ending and in terms of the stakes and how the future story would go about it, the original was infinitely better as well. Especially when you consider the fight between Garou and Saitama. And it's not like saying the spectacle that we got to see in the Garou versus Saitama was not cool. No, that was absolutely mind blowing. But it kind of cheapens and diminishes the whole original's story and original's point, which basically is kind of how the entire ending arc for Garou feels as well. Because in the original webtoon or webcomic version of it, the way it ended was absolutely perfect. Because the reason Garou even got the will to escape and actually survive was because of Taro. I mean, sure, okay. The remake version also had him being the catalyst for Garou in the future to give his life up and create an alternate timeline version and send Saitama back to it so that he could stop the tragic future from happening. And again, while that is cool, as compared to the original where it was just basically Saitama being him down and him having to come face to face with the fact that his long cherished dream, of trying to be this ultimate evil was crushed before Saitama, because Saitama was somebody who was actually serious about his dream, whereas Garou was just going for the cheap and easy version of how to achieve that dream of his. The resolution for that was definitely better. It wasn't some dramatized version of it where it's like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm trying to do it for Genos or for the people of the world. No, it was basically just Saitama, a very nice dude, smacking the ever-living daylight out of Garou, who is straight, and trying to teach him a lesson and try and make him a better person. And then at the end where he saw Taro came to try and save him after he himself had given up on himself, it just rekindled that spark in him that, I did do something good, especially with all the things Taro was saying about him. Basically that he did save my life when none of you heroes actually did. It, kind of rekindled this spark because it kind of filled this void in him and he's like, yeah, I wasn't useless. I wasn't a waste on humanity. I wasn't a waste of space. I actually did good. And it was the catalyst that allowed him to get his will back and escaped. Then from there, you see all the immediate fallout with the entire situation. The Hero Association basically breaking up with the introduction of the Neo Heroes, and with pretty much the ranks of the Hero Association depleted, and with a lot of other very tragic consequences and events following after. Sure, also we got to see in the remake version Blast as well, and all of this very cool stuff. But if we were to compare the original to this remake, right, it's basically, remake is just basically flesh, and that's it, no substance, no weight behind it. Whereas for the original, it had a lot of substance and it had a lot of weight. It had a lot of great drama, and behind it, it also had quite a bit of very nice action. Might not have been as flashy as what you saw in the remake, but it was definitely infinitely better in how it handled the subject matters and how it told its story. And that's what I really liked about the original. It's not the fact that, I am a stan for the original. I just like the ending for the original because it ended much better and in a much more satisfying way. It wasn't some cheap story where it's, Garou gave his life, sent Saitama back to help Saitama become the ultimate hero or whatever. It was just basically Saitama, recorrecting somebody who had strayed off of the beaten path and trying to encourage and help him to turn his life around. It was a much more personal story. And even at the end, when you saw how the heroes were basically trying to gang up on this guy and trying to kill him, even though Garou went very easy on the heroes and actually kept them alive, as Saitama himself said, Garou was a sweet guy who was trying to be evil, to try and carry out his version of justice, to try and carry out his version of what a hero should be. But because he himself did not have the internal fortitude to see it all through to the end, he went for the quote-unquote easier choice, which was basically just to beat down everybody until they fear and unite against him so that he could eliminate all of the great tragedies of the world. And as compared to Saitama, who actually put in his all into his hobby as a hero, and no matter what trials and tribulation he felt and he went through, he just continued to persevere through it and actually end up a much stronger man at the end. So it was a contrasting idea, contrasting philosophy, contrasting life, contrasting path, and all of that. And it was a much better drama as compared to basically the remake. If I have to actually describe what the remake is, right? The remake is what I would consider an action movie. Just like an 80s action movie where it's basically plot second, if not third, and action and explosion was the only thing that really mattered in the grand scheme of things. Maybe a bit of sexiness here and there, but generally speaking, action explosion was the most important thing within it, with the story taking quite a bit of a backseat to it. And that's how I feel like the remake actually is. It's not that I'm saying the remake is bad, it's actually pretty fun to read, and I love it, but doesn't change the fact that the ending itself and the whole situation for how everything was resolved, how the association seems like it will progress with the latest chapter, just isn't as satisfying as how you saw in the original. Whereas like the immediate aftermath and the fallout of it is basically all the heroes like pretty much leaving and joining the Neo heroes, the rise of the Neo heroes, and basically Saitama's slow climb to prominence. So yeah, it definitely handled all of it better, especially the more heavy dramatic subjects of the story itself and the theme. So yeah, I definitely love the original much more than I do for this remake version of it. Because I really don't think that the Murata 1 version of One Punch Man is actually as good as the original 1's version of One Punch Man. Which also is why I am so saddened and so frustrated that you don't get to see the continuation of the original One Punch Man, especially when it stopped on this very, very cool chapter of after seeing Dr. Kuseno's death. Like, come on, they were just about to strike and put an end to the evil who sent the droids to kill him, and I'm like, come on! It's been months upon months upon months. We gotta need something. It's such a good story and you're not telling it. Which is very sad. I know one makes more money off of the Murata version, but still, come on, you can try and give us at least something. Get an assistant to do it for you. Write the base story, get an assistant to do it for you, and then just put it out. You can make more money off of that as well if you monetize it as well, So one, come on, I'm begging you, please put up the next chapter of your original One Punch Man comic, because I love it. Oh, I want to see what happens next now that Saitama and Genos are going to go out there and actually start, laying the smack down on the asshole who ended up killing Dr. Kuseno. You can't just leave us hanging off of this, yeah. That is such a cool plot thread and, cool story beat to cliffhanger us on, only for you to having left us dangling for months upon months upon months. Oh my god. Oh well, anyway, that's pretty much my rants for the whole thing. I thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope to be able to see you in my next video. Thank you, and bye bye.